Hey, this is Niels on Dynasty, just a clanging and a banging at the Dynasty gym. Yeah, ooh, get those muscles up. Ooh, I feel like Hulk Hogan. That's not what this is about. This is about me trying to get up to 1,000 videos. I'm at like 990. And I came up with another cool article. So I figured, what the hell, let's throw out 2 or 3 in one day. Helps get to the 1,000 number. This is Niels on Dynasty. Please like, share, and subscribe. Be kind, helpful, and grateful. It's always better than being a jerk. And buy some silver, some platinum, and some crystallized osmium. Why not? This is from African Digital Library. 4 hours ago, how Ibrahim Traoré and the Alliance of Sahel States is shaping the future of African supremacy. African supremacy. Holy cow, what do you mean, African supremacy? Well, let's see what I mean.
For centuries, Africa has been the base for European development, providing most of the raw materials that power the industries and the human resource that provided donkey labor, mostly procured through modern-day slavery of labor export.
That's a lie, by the way.
Africa is the second largest continent after Asia, and it is estimated to be home to 40% of the world's population by the end of the century. The continent also presents as the youngest, with an average age of 19 years. This information signifies the economic importance of Africa in the near future. Many non-critical thinkers will say, Africa is finally breaking out of Western bondage. But this is an imminent bait being set by the Western powers to secure Africa in a much upgraded prison, since they seem to be breaking out of the old one. To understand this better, let's look at the occurrences that preceded these calls by Guterres to give Africa a permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council. The ECOWAS defense chiefs held a meeting in Abuja, begging the nations of the Alliance of the Sahel States to return to ECOWAS. The West African Regional Bloc claims the withdrawal of the Sahel states will hamper efforts to combat the already fragile security situation in the region. It is very important that you get to know this as it informs our discussion. Shortly after the meeting of the ECOWAS defense chiefs, the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Amina J. Mohammed, traveled to Burkina Faso, where she met President Ibrahim Traoré, for what was termed a high-profile discussion on security and geopolitics. So the big question, therefore, is, why did the Deputy Secretary General specifically go to Burkina Faso? The answer is pretty simple. Burkina Faso, under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, is the pivot of African geopolitics, championing the drive for African liberation. The breakaway of the 3 Sahel states from the regional bloc of ECOWAS is a clear signal that Africa is angry for true independence. The Western world has for decades relied on ECOWAS as a proxy force for continued control of West African states. As ECOWAS continues to beg the Sahel states to return to their membership, it is crucial that we understand the reasons why they badly want the Sahel states to return to the Abuja-based madness. The ECOWAS defense chiefs claim they want Sahel states to return for security reasons, but that is not the point. The truth is, ECOWAS is a corrupt gang of thieves, just like the regular African leaders, and their concern is about losing 45 billion West African francs that the 3 Sahel states have been contributing annually in membership. Further, the withdrawal of the Sahel states cuts funding from World Bank by more than 25%. The cult leaders of ECOWAS do not want to lose this money. Additionally, ECOWAS is under immense pressure from the neo-colonial masters who have been funding it to control West Africa, to bring the 3 states back to captivity. Why do we say this? Because there is no logic in ECOWAS claiming the reason they want the Sahel states back to ECOWAS is for security reasons. Yet for the years ECOWAS has existed, it has never had any contingency plan to combat Islamist violence in the region. This applies to all other African organizations, including African Union. The Sahel Alliance on the other side is driven by results, with coordinated operations already against violent terror groups, most of which are funded by Western colonial masters seeking to destabilize the region to gain continued control. To the Western
That's a lie. Dubai and AEU has more to do with it.
World, the hand that
I did a video on that.
Has fed their nations for generations is being cut off by Ibrahim Traoré and his counterparts from Mali and Niger. with expanding influence as recently witnessed by the close ties between Senegal and Togo with the alliance of the Sahel states.
Togo!
Worse for the imperialist powers, the alliance of the Sahel states is demonstrating results of development, peace, and security to their people. This is opening the eyes of the African youth, who are now in full support of the leaders of the alliance. The Western powers would have liked to forcefully recolonize Africa, starting from Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. But the challenge they now face is that these countries have made an alliance with Russia, China, Iran, and Turkey.
And I just did a
These
video on
countries
Turkey.
are military technology giants. And with their technology in the hands of Africans, forceful invention of Africa is far from a dream come true.
And I did a video yesterday on Burkina Faso starting their own nuclear agency to look at the possibility. It's the very, very, very start of getting it done. The eventual 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road is they're going to go ahead and try and proliferate, trying to make nuclear bombs. And Russia's building a nuclear power plant. So they've already gotten that far.
True. To better understand this, we need to carefully examine the composition of the United Nations Security Council. United States, France, and United Kingdom are all NATO states from the West, leaving only China from Asia and Russia, which is partly Asian and Europe, leaving Africa unrepresented. The Western powers understand that Africa's close relations with Russia and China makes the two nations strong UNSC members. So they are willing to rush to blindfold Africans by calling for Africans to be given a seat at the UNSC. But irrespective of who is behind the calls for Africa to be given a permanent seat, or for what motive they wish to grant Africa a permanent seat at the Security Council, there are a lot of unanswered questions. The first question is, does Africa need a seat at the United Nations Security Council, or Africa needs an independent organization?
Okay, there's a key factor here. No one I don't believe anyone's caught on, is everyone joining the UN and all this stuff, they just did what they were told or followed because it seemed like the profitable thing to do. And no one, until now, nation-wise, country-wise, has questioned, do we need them? This is the first time that question has been asked, not by a third grader or an iron worker in the basement of the Han Dynasty, and I've been asking for a while. Hardly's having a good time. But seems like the African nations that did the coup that are being supported by Russia don't seem to be controlled by Russia, or else they'd be in BRICS, because as this says, future African supremacy. 40% of the world in the next 60 years will be Africa, as far as people go. Over 60% of this world will be African, according to what these people just said. So why wouldn't they be a nuclear power if that's the future for Africa? They're evolving into a first world nation status, and they're bringing the continent with them. Lots of African countries at the same time see this opportunity and are going for it. The world's gotten their hands off, except for China, who's still fleecing them, and the AEU, which just got screwed on fleecing them. No one, and of course the Westerns. We got stopped a long time ago. But anyhow, enough of my ranting. You guys have a nice night. Bye-bye.